Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Refuge from Narcissism. And this refugee video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's the story. Actually, my story. Sorry for all the delays. Sorry for the time away. I can't tell you how much I needed it. And, it's just been... Nothing's changed. And I need to learn to listen to my own advice. Listen to the things I've been preaching, obviously, for, 6+ years on this channel and longer for people who've known me in my personal life. It's all a joke to them. The only answer to narcissism is no contact. The only answer to communism is Balkanization. They go hand in hand. They are one in the same, both of them. What have I been preaching on this channel? It's to go no contact and create your own circle of family, your own circle of people you trust and care about you, because that's what makes you strong. That's what balkanization is going to an area where you believe in and the people you all believe in the same thing, and you make it stronger and you stick to it. This is why the narcissist in your personal life does what they do to you, to make you feel alienated, to make you feel alone, because then they have fucking power over you. It's the same tactic. If they hadn't spent the last 60+ years really softening us up in our personal lives, there's no way they'd have the army to do what they're doing here socially and politically and nationally and worldwide. It starts with destroying the family, destroying the mother, father, child, family unit. They do that by destroying the economy, forcing a two-income household where it's impossible to raise your own children, where you're turning your children over to these sociopaths who most of the time don't have children of their own, but have no problem indoctrinating yours because they're bitter, they're angry, and no matter how much you're paying them, or as I keep saying, overpaying them, it's never enough. They're always overworked and underpaid, and they're all a bunch of heroes. And what have they turned out to us in the last 20 years? Children who hate us, hate their country, and they actually hate themselves now. I knew the forces I was up against up there. The obvious indoctrination of my family, of my father, his lack of any morals whatsoever. And like I said, and I think on one of the last videos I didn't take something seriously that my ex-wife said to me when all this started. That it wasn't my father that put her up to all this stuff in court. It was one of her fucking coworkers. And I didn't buy it, but now you sure as shit do. Now I sure as shit do, knowing what I know. I mean, Christ, she's been NJEA for 21 years now. One of the most corrupt unions in the country. NJEA, most corrupt, most powerful. in an inner city urban district collecting Abbott funds, which are federal funds, yada, yada, yada. Okay, in schools, in public schools named after the likes of Whitney Houston and Dionne Warwick and Johnny Cochran. These are public school names. I mean, I understand and I absolutely support the need in urban communities to have black heroes to look up to. But like, are we out of black heroes to the point where Whitney Houston, who's ODing in a bathtub, and no offense to the Psychic Friends Network or Dionne Warwick or Johnny Cochran getting OJ off, these are the examples. Those children are doomed to failure, and I've talked about that. But it's no wonder why I didn't get a phone, why you don't get a phone call, or why she is able to rationalize not even a acknowledgement, not even a thank you, an acknowledgement of, hey, what's good, anything. No, they're able to rationalize it because, she's already making over 100K a year with Cadillac benefits and a lifetime pension that she's going to be making what she makes the last year of her employment for the rest of her fucking life. You're owed that anyway, so fuck them. This is how it is. I mean, this is what you're seeing. And I know it because you can just see it in the general attitude of those teachers unions. And I'm sorry, I know I got teachers on here and I'm not talking about you specifically, but if your unions and your fellow co-workers are just absolutely abhorrent and they have absolutely destroyed children, destroyed education. So no, I haven't heard anything up there. Yeah, I found out that it is possible for me to get out of my portion of the house if somebody was willing to buy me out, but trying to get somebody to buy me out with her sitting in there in the house under foreclosure and she won't talk to anybody. And it's a gray area with Erin going to college, whether or not they'd force her to leave anyway, even though I'm pretty positive she's going to be living on campus. But the problem, the other issue is with my mother out of the way and all that bitching out of the way. Okay. And my father having the house in Bergen County, the house down the shore, he's sitting on just that alone. Okay, it's almost $2 million just in the property value of those two properties alone, with what she's making and free benefits and the fucking money out. It's a joke. They don't give a shit. It's like they don't, so they could sit in that house and fuck with me. And throwing money at attorneys is just, it is useless, especially in New Jersey. It's just useless because it's a gray area. And as far as they're concerned, I've barely talked to Erin in 10 years anyway. I have a friend, real life friend, believe it or not. I've made them. He's got a daughter, with an ex, another state. And he goes up there to see her. And the hardest advice I give on this channel is to men telling me they want out and they have children. And I tell you all the same thing. It's not going to go how you think it's going to go in family court. It's just not. Doesn't matter what evidence it doesn't matter All that matters is that you're paying your monthly obligation. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. And he says all the same stuff I said about Erin. Like, yeah, she just, when I talk to her, everything's good. And when we're hanging out, it's good. And, you know, the ex won't let him take her anywhere, won't let him see, even when he's up there, won't let him see his friends up there. Like, she does this, I'm paranoid or something's going to happen or what's going to happen. And bringing her down here is just out of the question. It's the same argument. When I'd ask my ex, like, what do you want for me to bring Erin down here? You couldn't even get an answer. I still have yet to get an answer. He hasn't gotten an answer. And I'm like, dude, you're not going to get the answer. And he's like, no, I'm building evidence and I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to have, well, you know, she's fighting with her boyfriend in the background. And I'm like, he's such a nice guy. And I really do like him as a friend. And all I could do is be there for him. Like, I'm like, look, man, I want you to get custody. And I want everything to work out for you, as I do everybody who talks to me on this channel. I do. But you got to understand the reality. You got to understand the position you're in. That's the system that was set up. That's the Marxism, communism. Destroy the family, destroy the father. Tell the mother she's a victim, make her fucking paranoid, make it like he's gonna run off. Like, it destroys these children. And I try to explain to him, like, it's good now. I'm like, but the more she hears it, the more she hears what a bad guy you are, the more, and you're not around, and you're just, you just lose them eventually. And I remember, you know, when you lose them, you lie to yourself and you think you can get it back. You can't. You can't. Breaks my heart. So one of the harder things to do on this channel is dealing with men who are about to go through a divorce, going through a divorce. And the ones at the first are so gun-ho, like, yeah, I'm going to leave this bitch. And I'm like, oh. And I'm all for leaving toxic situations. But when you have kids, you have to be realistic about it. Thinking you're going to win anything in family court is a pipe dream, is a fool's errand. And I try to tell, and people learn that the hard way, unfortunately. They learn it the hard way. I'll never get this time. You never get it back. And it is a hole just ripped out of your fucking chest. Especially when it's a daughter. Like, you see this stuff, you see a dad with his kid or his little girl, it devastates me. It devastates me. And it devastates, you know, most men who go through this shit. None of it would have been possible without cultural Marxism and communism. None of it. They had to destroy the family. They had to destroy the family unit. They had to destroy the father. They had to make men weak, make men evil. Not just white men, all men. Of course, there's a pecking order with these idiots, but it's masculinity. It's American culture that they are at war with, that they have been at war with for so long. So right now, like what I gotta learn to take my own advice. Is what I've been doing is balkanizing down here, balkanizing in my personal life. I tell people you can't worry about the money. You can't worry about the money or the value or yada, yada, yada all the time when I say forget the will, you're not going to get it anyway. It's a tough fucking pill to swallow, but you got to learn to fucking swallow it. Doesn't matter, and it's unfair and it's unjust, and you know they're fucking laughing about it, and you know they're like, how, what are you going to do? Because in my case, I know what the deal is. It's to try to get me to either A, call my father, okay, which not going to happen, or B, show up in New Jersey, which is a trap, which is not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Can happen. Can happen. Too much has happened. Too much has been done. Too much. So what they do is, you know, they try to cancel you, which is, you know, where we're at, you know, cancel culture. We've been living being canceled in our personal lives forever. Like I said, we're built for most of this shit. Society was not. Society was not. So I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching, a lot of figuring out, like, what do I do? Like, do I push it? Like, and it's just not worth it. It's just, and as maddening as it is, and it's not even, let's just, it's my daughter. And again, I know if this was somebody coming to me right now, what would I tell me? I'm like, well, you got righteous anger. Well, you know it's righteous anger. They spend decades abusing you. You are not getting over it. Why? Because you're not even meant to get over it. It's meant to destroy you. No contact, Balkanization. It's the same fucking thing. Now, I want to talk about some other stuff as well. Since I am throwing in communism and Balkanization. Anyway, I still am getting a lot of questions politically about what's going on in the country, about how I see things, and people still care. People still want my opinion. I still enjoy talking about it. And I'll say this, you know, nothing has changed, okay? The communist is going to do what the communist is going to do. The Democrat's going to do what the Democrat's going to do, as is the narcissistic sociopath is going to do what the narcissistic sociopath is going to do. Don't worry about them. Worry about your own team. Worry about who you are balkanizing with. What do I mean by that? Okay. Let's take, and I've talked about this in prior videos. They've probably been deleted because just the mention of it at the time, or the Orange Man or anything, is persona non grata. I've talked about this Q thing, this QAnon thing, and I have stated, and from the very beginning, it's complete it was bullshit. It was bullshit. It was some kind of fucking nonsense. It was. I was clear. And I know there's been a bunch of you and supporters on my channel and people who follow me who followed it and believed it. And look, I'm sorry it turned out to be what it is. I'm not, because here's the deal. And this goes to the larger point of what I'm trying to tell you here. about Balkanization. Okay? The folly of the QAnon conspiracy, or whatever you want to call it, okay? They want to tell you, okay, is that there were these people, I'm not even going to say the word because, you know, we are in cancel culture. We know what they believe, that people were hurting children at the highest levels. And that's not the folly of QAnon. We know that's true. Epstein proved that. Okay, all these child trafficking arrests prove that. The folly of QAnon was thinking that there was some mysterious white hat sitting somewhere that was going to come in and rescue you. That was going to wave a magic wand and make it all right and say, nope, 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 nope. This is gone. This is a line too far. No. That's childlike thinking. That's victim thinking. That's thinking of people who are looking to be controlled. That's not people who are looking to balkanize, who are looking to strengthen their own stance in life, in their community, in what have you. No, 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 no. Those were people looking to be protected, hoping. That's why when the media goes on and says they're violent, they're like, no, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. QAnon was this hope that there was this mysterious good guy, white hat somewhere that was going to step in and make it all go away. Without violence, without any of the big words they've been using, insurrection, whatever you want to call. I'm not calling anything. I'm just saying the words that have been thrown around out there. It was an excuse to avoid all that violence. It was the childlike hope that there's a good guy somewhere to make the commies go away. And there's not. That's the folly. That's why the FBI, the corrupt FBI and DOJ are able to do to trespassers, okay, what they've never done to terrorists. To actual terrorists. That's why. Because they sat around hoping somebody was going to come in and save them. And hey, listen, on some level, I'm guilty of that with Trump as well. We all are on some level. But thinking that there was some white hat in the military that was going to step in and save you was insane thinking. It's childlike thinking. And I told you, none of these people were your friends. Not the cops, not the military, not the politicians. None of them are your friends. They hate you. Over 30 GOP congressmen are still in support of this January 6th commission. I keep telling you, stop worrying about what the other side is doing. They're going to do what they're going to do. You got traitors on your own side that are just looking to run over them, put things back to the way they were, where we're bombing these sandbox countries and business is fucking usual. Remember, 143 congressmen by secret ballot voted to put Liz Cheney in leadership not 3 months ago. Don't talk to me about the Democrats know what to do with fucking power. If the Republicans would just do half of what they're accused of doing by the media, we wouldn't be having these conversations. Democrats wouldn't win shit again. I don't hate these Democrats. I admire their balls. I mean, you had Chris Wallace this weekend accuse Trump of listening to of criticizing Trump for taking Dr. Fauci's advice. with a straight face. He's like, well, he's the president of the union. You mean to tell me Anthony Fauci held this type of a... They don't care. They don't care. They don't care how brazen they are. They don't fucking care. They don't care. And crying about it and pointing out a hypocrisy only gets you laughed at. Just like when you try to confront that narcissist in your personal life. It only blows up in your face and you end up getting laughed at. I told you. There's 3 things I'm looking for anybody who wants my vote. Okay? 3 things I want for a next congressional candidate. Anybody running for these congressional seats, Senate seat. Okay? First, I want to see some impeachments. Okay? And I'm not even talking to Biden and Kamala. I'm talking to federal judges. I'm talking about Amy Jackson. I'm talking about Sullivan. I'm talking about any one of these federal judges. I'm talking about Chief Justice Roberts. I know it ain't going nowhere. I know they're not going to get out. I know they're not going to get actually impeached by the Senate, but make them hold the fucking trial. Drag them. Drag them like they drag us. Like their side drags us. Because that's the only way it's going to stop. Because you think every federal judge wants to sit there and be dragged through a Senate trial and actually have to answer for their bullshit, whether it's technically legal or not. And the Andrew Napolitanos in the world. Okay, you're judicial sadists. Put it out there for the world to see. That's how you get control of your judiciary real goddamn fast. Secondly, anybody who says the term McCarthyism in regards to Senator Joe McCarthy and means what is not to be taken seriously because, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, Joe McCarthy is right. The third thing is, and this is going to be costly, is what do you do with a corrupt DOJ? What do you do with a corrupt FBI? What do you do with them? Well, far be it from me to compliment a teachers union on anything, especially a Northeast teachers union like New York City. But you know what what you have to do with these people, okay? Because you can't fire them. You can't. They're under contract. Like, the legal system will put you in knots. It's back and forth and then. Like, you can't. It's not even fucking realistic to fire them. It's not. Same with a teacher. Trying to fire a tenured teacher, yada. So what do they do in New York? And everybody screams about this. They have these things called rubber rooms for teachers. And when you're a bad teacher and you're not doing your job, or you're hanging out with kids, or you've done something really fucking inappropriate, but these unions still protect you, what they do is they set up these buildings called rubber rooms, where the teacher still gets paid, they still get their full salaries, they still get their raises, okay, but all they do is they sit there all day from the time they be normally teaching, and then they leave, because it's better than having them in there destroying students, doing whatever they're doing. This is what we're going to have to do with our FBI, with our federal law enforcement agencies. Any FBI, all these good FBI agents, and nobody can't find them, okay? Any FBI agent that had anything to do with Mueller, any FBI agent that had anything to do with any raid on Manafort, Stone, Trump, anything. Any FBI agent who had anything to do with letting Lois Lerner off. All he is. Rubber room. You got a new investigation, boys and girls. Your investigation, okay, and it's a big one. It's a big one. Is to let us know how long it takes the paint to peel off that fucking wall. I mean, it's going to be in depth. It's deep cover. Okay, you all just sit there and you stare at that fucking wall. Okay, because we need to know this. Okay? Don't worry about the actual law enforcement and investigate. We'll find people to do that. That's the only thing you can do with these people, is to rubber room them. And I'm not even talking that. I'm talking about all these federal agencies. You got to pay them out. But the only way you stay out of court is to pay them. Now, who's to say you don't have to let them walk around and investigate federal crimes? No. You're still an FBI agent. You don't need a badge and a gun, though. Because you're under deep cover. You go to this room, you watch that wall, and you let us know. You let us know how long it takes that paint to peel off that wall. That's it. A lot of them will quit. A lot of them will seek severance. A lot of them will just sit there because you're taking away their incentive to fight anyway. Well, wait a minute. How much of an ideologue am I really? They're going to pay me my full salary, give me my raises and promotions. Anyway, okay, do I really want to... It's going to be costly. Okay, fixing the mistakes of Marxists and communists, it's always going to be costly. But it has to happen. I mean, I think the one thing we've proven in this country is if you just let the American people go and prosper, we will boom in prosperity and money. And we can, the damage that they can do by staying in their job far surpasses whatever it's going to cost to fucking pay them, rubber room them, and hire new people. Same thing's going to happen with the teachers' unions, unfortunately, as well. We're going to need a lot more rubber rooms. A lot more. And, you know, people complained in New York City about, oh, can you believe it? Well, you know, you hired shithead politicians. You didn't watch what they were doing, and they passed all these laws. So now it's legal. Now it's legal. Even though it's immoral and unfair, it's legal. You're not going to undo that in court. You're not. You got to take away their incentive to fight. And the only way you're going to do it, and it's a bitter pill to swallow, is to rubber room them. Luckily, it appears not every Democrat is completely out of their fucking minds. So, you know, it looks like all these other voting things that the Democrats want to put in ain't happening. Not happening. So that's a good thing. And that lines you up. That lines us up to, you know, right back to the media. And again, if you don't think communism and narcissism are the same thing, look at the media and what the media is doing with Trump now. Hoovering. They are basically, the media is now hoovering for Trump. Why? Because their ratings have absolutely collapsed. Nobody's watching them. Nobody cares. But here they are. Trump. Well, they can't quit him. They can't. They need the orange man. They need him back. They need him bad. They need him bad. Same as in your personal life. When you go away, now, the problem is they didn't really exile him because they just thought they'd be able to watch what he does. But he's still able to communicate with his people and make fun of them. And they fucking hate that. They hate that. So now they're trying to hoover him back in, yada, yada, yada. Listen. And now, you know, back to you QAnon people. Okay? Understand something. There's no way, there's only one way Trump could ever become president, okay, before 2024. There's only one way that could happen. And it's not, and I'm not saying it's completely unrealistic. It really is. But the only way would be, okay, the Republicans win back the House. Trump doesn't even have to be a congressman. He could still become Speaker of the House. If the Republicans win back Congress, They could just elect Trump Speaker of the House. Pelosi has to hand the gavel off to Trump. Congress then impeaches both Biden and Kamala. The Senate convicts with 67, which is never going to fucking happen. And then Trump becomes president in 2022. That would be the only way. But it ain't happening. It ain't realistic. It ain't happening. You know, people are thinking, oh, well, maybe Arizona, maybe this. I mean, there is no mechanism in our Constitution to overturn an election like that. It's just, it's not written, unless it's written into law. As if this happened, it's not how it works. That's the frustration of being a constitutional republic, and people have now twisted it. And look, Trump's not the right guy anymore. I love Trump. Don't get me wrong. I love the guy. I do. He had his chance. He hired all the wrong people. He was supposed to get rid of these people, and he didn't. He let his daughter and his son-in-law run roughshod over him. And listen, there were a lot of good things that happened. I'm not saying there weren't. But he never got fucking control of that goddamn DOJ. Again, to me, everybody hired after 1992, after Bill Clinton in 1992 lost the popular vote by 14 million votes. Remember that, people. 14 more million people voted. More people voted against Bill Clinton than voted for Bill Clinton in 1992. And with that fucking mandate, okay, of 14 million more people wanted someone else to be president than him, he fired all 93 federal prosecutors, thus changing the face of the DOJ. Why? Who does the field FBI agents report to? The federal prosecutors in each one of those districts. Boom. You get Ruby Ridge, you get Waco. I'm not making any judgments on either one of those two individuals, whether they're criminals or not. Okay? But both of them could have been arrested peacefully outside those, without, no, they wanted to put on a show, a dog and pony show, which is what communists do. So I love Trump. He still has a huge fucking place in the party and in the future of conservatism, a huge place. But he just doesn't have the political chops. He just doesn't have that. And you do need some of that. You need it. He had 4 years, You know, the Sessions thing really did fuck him. I mean, Jeff Sessions really did fuck him. That was supposed to be Sessions' job. He really did fuck him. Like, you can't forget how bad Jeff Sessions fucked him. That said, you know, the hiring of people like McMaster, and look, it just made horrendous hiring decisions. And I understand he had to fight off the warmongers every day, just looking to bomb somebody. DeSantis is the man. DeSantis is the guy. Heavy D is the guy. So they hate him. They have nothing on him. Like, he is the guy. I love Trump. Trump had his chance. If Trump's the guy, Trump's the guy. Okay? I mean, I'll get behind him regardless. Okay? And as a Florida resident, I don't want to lose my governor. I love him. You know, you got to just keep letting things go the way they're going. I told you, the Democrats do what they do. They overplay their hand. And they overplayed their hand real quick. Real quick. You know? I saw the collapses coming in the Northeast. I didn't know how they were going to do it, but I knew it was going to happen. I'll say this, and again, this was another folly of the campaign of 2020. One of the big, as bad as crime is up there, it's still not as bad as it was in the 70s and 80s. Still not to that level pre-Giuliani, which is another reason, and I warned at the time, going after Biden on the fucking 94 crime bill was stupid. You don't understand how out of fucking control the cities were. I mean, well, you're getting a taste of it now. That's how it was every day back then as well. Cops didn't go into those neighborhoods ever. They didn't care. They didn't care. They couldn't, because the same thing would happen. They'd have shit thrown at them, flaming barrels, flaming garbage. It was the same stuff back then as well. And as far as COVID and Fauci and his emails, yeah, no shit. No shit. No shit. Listen. No shit. No shit. We knew. We've known. No shit. And UFOs, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Why is it only our naval ships that see? I mean, come on. You can't see this is another distraction. It is what it is. So, I think I've probably babbled long enough. I don't even know. Jesus, I'm almost at 40 minutes of babbling. So, I actually have 2 pairs of glasses now, everybody, because my left eye was overcompensating, and my right eye now I have 2 stigmatisms, and I need 2 separate pairs of glasses, one for like close up, and these are supposed to be my computer glasses, but if I turn around, everything's blurry. These are supposed to be my distance glasses, but I could still use them because I'm still far away from my computer, but then I can't see anything in front of me. And for some reason, they can't put these 2 together. I don't know. I'm going to try to say, you got to make one of these work. Like, one of these do everything. Please. Please. So, a lot been going on personally, and I've really been trying to stay under the cancel radar. I have only 13 stories in the queue. Like I said, I'm going to blow them out in a day, and hopefully I can get them out tomorrow. If not, they will be out this week. But I'm going to blow through most of them this week, and hopefully be able to start. Well, obviously it could still take more, but that's what's up, everybody. Balkanize. Make your area stronger. Make your circle stronger. That's all that matters at this point. All right, everybody. If you want to get a story in, if you want to sponsor, if you want to try to set up a Skype, please, if you have a Skype out there for me, get back to me so we can get them scheduled. I've been running around, I've been everywhere. It's been a week and a half since I've had a kidney stone, so I think that's passed as well. All right, everybody. If you want to support the channel, you guys know what to do with the links in the description box. Could always use it, until we can get control of our country again. It's going to be a rough ride. Go no contact, balkanize. See you all soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.